everyone. Welcome back to Question the Answer.
Welcome back, guys. Nice to see you again.
Picking right back off where we left, our infamous little hair peeking out here on the same picture.
Yeah, Megan and I are giggling a little bit because we can't see our notes yet, but we can see the picture that we both pulled up at the same time.
And I think most people, just from seeing that little sliver.
I don't know. It could be Barbie. It could be
I don't know.
The coif. Hint, hint. All right, who is yours?
You fired. Donald Trump. And his infamous mugshot.
Oh, my God. Look at that face.
Look at that man.
He's mean. I love it. So our next topic, we're going to move right on to Mr. Trump. So speaking of a leader who is a little bit more effective, in my opinion, is President Donald Trump. And there's his mugshot. Handsome man, isn't he?
Look at him.
That's my favorite suit on him, the blue with the white and the red tie. I think he looks the best in that. Actually, I think, believe it or not, during the debate, I believe they all kind of had the same color on. And I think it was that, blue, white, and red tie.
I think they all definitely had the blue suit. Maybe different color ties.
Maybe different
but
yeah.
I
don't know. I didn't look up a lot on this because here's what I have to say about these indictments. I'm bored. I'm so bored. They're so vague and so general, and I don't understand them. I don't think anybody
It's comical at this point.
I'm bored.
It's becoming a comedy show because it feels like every other week there's a new article saying Trump's been indicted and he's now got 1,000 felony charges. Like it's too much. And like you said, move on. The media, they can't move on from Trump. They just can't. Even at the debate where he wasn't even there, his name is constantly brought up. And this is why I think he's great. Like, he didn't go to the debate, right? But he, at the same time, had his had his recorded interview with Tucker Carlson come out at the same time.
Oh, I didn't see it.
I watched it. And I'm like, that is such a, baller move. Like, you had and his numbers are up.
Of course they are.
And that interview had, it's over 100 million views. Now, on X now, Twitter, X whatever. The number, I guess, doesn't really say that's how many people watched it. But it's the number of people that at least clicked on it, looked at it, whatever. When that interview came out, when the presidential debate started, within the first hour, it was at 80-something million views.
Mm. How many people watched the debate? Does anyone know that number?
That's a good question. I don't know
that
number.
It was only 11 million?
I think it was around 11, 12 million.
Yeah. Oh, isn't that interesting? Oh, we said the word interesting.
But yeah, as far as the indictments go, it's like people need to get a grip. Meanwhile, again, I know we talked about this a lot, about the bias of the media, bias of the two parties. He's getting accused of anything under the sun, and I have a couple funny videos of his indictments.
I can't wait to see them. By the way, if you don't know what this recent indictment it's about the fact that he caused the J6 insurrection, which I don't think was an insurrection at all.
Most people with a brain
stormed the Capitol. I believe there was a lot more at play.
The overturning of the election in Georgia.
Oh, is that? Oh,
that
I'm sorry.
The most recent one, I believe.
Am I getting my indictments confused?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
There's been so many.
There's 57 at this point.
You know, this is just.
I didn't know that. I just you're telling me now for the
being
first
indicted
time.
for the asteroid that hit the Earth and destroyed the dinosaurs. I just think, this is why I love the internet, and this is another one that's hysterical. Trump finding out he's been indicted for the 500th time.
I didn't know that. I just
for not
telling me
reading the
now for the
pamphlet
first
in an exit row on the plane.
Yeah, that's you better read that damn pamphlet. That door is tricky.
Oh my God! Then there was one about Trump getting indicted because he never rewound his last Blockbuster video.
Please be kind, rewind.
Yes. But that's where it's going at this point.
Oh, I'm bored.
People, we need to move. Can we focus on bigger issues here? Meanwhile, you got all the Biden, Hunter, Joe Biden drama that's going on, but that's fine.
Believe it or not, the stupid stuff that our media pulls, they should want this man back in office because it's just pure viewership for them.
Well, that's the thing. It's like this guy. I feel like they keep thinking they're going to take him down, and nothing's working. Nothing's working. He just keeps getting stronger. His numbers keep getting stronger. They can't take him down. I think that's driving them mad.
I will say something about Mr. President Donald Trump, who, by the way, I absolutely adore. I He has my vote in the first
Same.
primary. I'm not afraid to admit that to the world. He has my vote. I believe he's the man that can get this done. I think we need somebody as impactful, as polarizing as him to get the change done that we need currently. Because I think this world is going to.
We're so far gone. We need
the whack
It's going to
house.
take somebody. It's going to take him.
But I also like the other. I really, really like the other candidates. However, my vote will be for Mr. Trump. But I really wish he would stop attacking the other candidates, specifically Ron DeSantis, because it's not a good look for him. He doesn't need to attack the other candidates because
Maybe Chris Christie a little bit, because that is funny.
all the other candidates are literally running on his policies.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all he has to stand on. He doesn't need to attack Ron DeSantis about his hurricane response, which I completely disagree about his recent publishing on that. I wish his advisors would advise against this because I feel like mom and dad are fighting right now, and it's really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to attack. Like, as good as Ron DeSantis is, Trump,
He's not at the level.
he's still running on Trump's policies.
Yeah.
You know, he still believes a lot in what Trump did. So I wish he would stop doing that. However, I still love and adore him. I mean, I don't know him personally, but his policies I love and adore. Let me clarify that. Politics is not personal.
Yeah.
But I'm
it's
bored.
okay to, show your differences between the other candidates. Where you stand compared to
Right.
maybe where a Tim Scott stands or a DeSantis stands, but to attack them personally aren't we beyond that? Don't you think you have enough ammunition going after a Democrat, any Democrat? I mean, can you focus on that? You have enough there
I agree.
to last you 100 years.
Yeah.
I have
Right.
enough videos out there on almost every Democrat that runs a city today to go just after them on what their policies have caused cities. Go after the Democrats that are running California. Do you need
Right.
any more fodder? They've destroyed the state. Look at what's happening here in New York. Kathy Hochul's been an absolute disaster. I mean, you need to go after all these policies that are ruining our lives, changing the way we now approach everything in society. And we don't need to be going after each other. The Democrats hardly go after each other, if you've noticed.
Yeah, they really don't.
Although I think a lot now are realizing that Joe Biden is going to be a problem for them.
How is this guy going to make it through a campaign? He can't even read off a note card anymore.
Well, COVID's coming again, so we're going to go back into the basement, which is what he did when he ran against Trump. He campaigned from his basement, and the media let him get away with that. And as we all know, COVID's rearing its ugly head again, although even by the Washington Post standards, this variant that everyone's talking about is just as mild as any of the others have been.
Oh, but they're going to push that. They're going to push that new booster or whatever on
That
you.
would be
They're
that would be a really good topic for next time.
I think we have that kind of, don't we?
For the next episode, because it's coming.
You see articles everywhere now.
Get ready, folks. It's coming. Lockdowns, masks. It's coming, folks, and they're going to shove it down your throats again. Right now they're recommending a new booster shot. Boosted and vaxxed. It's coming because the pharmaceutical companies have lost a crap ton of money. So I think that's a really good topic for next, because there's a lot there. I mean, people are still wearing friggin' masks.
Well, now you're reading things that the masks might be coming back. The mask mandates might come back.
Guys,
actually, Trump just released a video saying we will not comply, all of that. So
now, let's move on with President Trump. Let's move on to the debate. Do you think it was a good idea that he did not participate?
I would have loved to have seen him there. However, I kind of understand why he didn't go.
Why do you think he didn't go?
He said because there was no reason for him to go with his numbers being so high.
Okay.
And he felt that it would just have been an attack on
I don't
him.
need to go. It's so high, my numbers.
He had a plan. He obviously went on Tucker Carlson and had an interview come out at the exact same time, which got more views.
It's just got to piss the other candidates off.
Who won the debate? Trump did. He wasn't even there. He wasn't even there, in my opinion. And I feel like he was a topic at the debate, which, obviously they talked about a lot of things, but the fact that he was always brought up is beyond me.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And he knows that.
We've made him into a god at this point.
Well, for some. The devil for others.
Right, exactly. Well, we've made him into some type of massive worshipped or hated. Hate and love are the same thing. It's very strong emotion.
Passionate. It's you get it from both sides. Like,
I actually see both sides. First and foremost, if you are signing up for a job, you better show up for work. So you need to be there for the debate, and you need to be able to be there and answer questions. That's my, you should have showed up side. The other side of me is because of all the legal things going on. You knew that they were going to pigeonhole him during this debate, and that debate could have gotten very out of control for him with things he can't talk about.
Well, he kind of said that. He said it would have just been an attack on what's going on with him.
And I think it was more of a way to protect him from that and not getting him into, more hot water with these indictments. So I can see why from a legal standpoint and we don't need to blow things up yet because it's just the first debate.
Yeah.
And it's and there's a lot of people involved right now. But I also believe that if you're going to sign up for a job, you need to show up for work. And the debates are one of those things.
Here's the truth of it. These indictments, all the legal things that are going on with him, that's not going to go away throughout this whole season. So he is going to have to face it. I mean, he's going to have to be there and talk about it. It's just going to come up.
He will get charged. If you guys think that he's being charged in these states that hate him. I mean, legit hate. Washington, D.C. is where one of these trials are going to be. He's going to get charged with something. And if you think that he's going to find a way out of all of this, you are just wishful thinking your way into that. Because the juries will, once again, there's no way to just get rid of your bias.
Yeah.
Especially when you have such a big name like this.
Not for somebody like that.
And the way that people hate him, like a deity, the way people just viscerate this man, he's going to get a charge somewhere down the line. They're going to find something about that, And then he's going to pardon himself when he wins. Okay, can we play a game? Let's move on to the debate.
Let's play a game.
I am curious if you can name all of the candidates. I have their cute little pictures up here.
Oh, God.
And I want to see if you can name them. Don't help her, AJ.
Help me.
Okay, who's that?
Help me. Trump?
Yeah. Yes.
Are you? Oh, I didn't know if you were joking.
No, I'm not joking. So you got that one. Ding. Ding. Number one. Okay. Who is
That's
that?
DeSantis.
Okay, who's that?
Mike Pence.
Who's that?
Nikki Haley.
All right. Who's this person?
Tim. No.
Yep.
Tim Scott.
Yes. Who's this?
Oh, Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yeah, I got a lot to say about this one.
Yeah, he's interesting.
All right, hang on. We'll get there. Who's
Chris
this?
Farley. I mean, Chris Christie.
I love how his hands just bam. He's like, talk to the hand. What is that? No, that's the force. All right,
gonna need more than that.
This is going to get harder. Who's that?
I can't even.
Dun-dun-dun.
Somebody who doesn't matter.
Asha Hutchinson.
Oh.
And who's this?
Again, somebody who doesn't matter.
Something Burgum is his name. This is the gift card guy. That's how he got he gave out gift cards or something. He's a Democrat. I don't know what the hell he's doing on the stage. I think he's out at this point. As of today, I believe Doug Burnham is out.
Yeah.
So ding ding ding, you got 80%.
Those two don't count. Those two don't count.
Of course they count. They're GOP
No, they
candidates.
Don't count.
Well, they may not count this year, but they may count sometime down the road. There are a few more involved in the actual election. So there's more people actually signed up, but there were specific restrictions or qualifications, I should say, in order to qualify. I sound like Biden right now. Qualifications to qualify.
No, you sound like Kamala.
Yeah. To be unburdened by what has been. There's certain things you have to do in order to qualify to be in the debate. You have to have a certain amount of donations. And you have to have something. You have to sign you will support the nominee for the Republican candidate. So
okay,
I believe it's those two things. AJ is going to fact check us right now on that one. So those are your candidates. I believe it's a really good field. I love that we have so many options. I don't know what the Democratic options are, and I just don't see Mr. Biden being able to campaign. As far as I got to watch the debate on a beach in Hawaii.
Oh, how lovely.
It was the best day ever.
It's like you were Biden.
And it was like the middle of the day. Yes. Yeah. On vacation.
You were channeling your inner Joe Biden.
Yeah. I'm like 300 40 days short of Biden on his vacation, but
Aren't we all?
I thought everyone did fine. I didn't think anyone really stood out in a good way.
Agreed.
But the official poll numbers did declare DeSantis the winner. So I have a graph that shows they've polled a whole bunch of people. And here is who people liked. So DeSantis is at the top. Ramaswamy is second. Haley came in third. Pence, Christie, Scott, Hutchinson, and Burgum. That's the order of who the voters liked.
Okay. What do you think of this Ramaswamy?
You know, well, first and foremost, I think most of the candidates underperformed for this first GOP debate. And it was very anticlimactic. However, there were some great moments. That only showed a few of them because, in my opinion, Asha Hutchinson, Senator Tim Scott, and the gift card guy, they at this point they're kind of arbitrary. I'm glad they're in. I like a nice robust count when we start this. But I think at this point they should just say thank you very much. We're going to leave it up to the rest. Listen, I know everyone hates Chris Christie. I find there's something about the way he speaks, and I'm not talking about the quality of what he says. I'm talking about the way he speaks. Very interesting to watch. I could watch him talk.
I think just keep him around for, comedy at this point. Like it's good entertainment.
Really. He does say some really interesting things.
The ChatGPT thing had me laughing when I saw that. I'm like, that's hysterical.
What do you think of Nikki Haley?
I don't know. I mean, I liked some of the things she said. I think she's well spoken. I just don't think she's as strong as like a DeSantis or Trump, obviously. But
I think she's.
Kind of indifferent.
Listen, I like Nikki Haley, and I think she'd make a great official in some type of office. But here's my problem with her: did she quit halfway through Trump's administration? I don't like people that just walk away from their current office because it gets a little bit difficult. And I don't know the reasons why Nikki Haley walked. What was she, the foreign secretary?
Wasn't she a UN ambassador?
She was the UN ambassador. That's what she was.
And she just quit one day. Not one day, but she quit halfway through. And if you can't even handle that position, how the hell are you going to handle being the president? So whether or not you disagreed with the current president, you have to work your way through those things. And the fact that she just walked away from the position, I don't know
why.
And now you want me to sign you up to have a higher position?
She was also the former governor of South Carolina.
Great, and I think she's awesome. But once again, I just
don't think she's as strong as some of the other players.
She's already quit. So I know that's being a little bit abrupt and harsh about it, but don't quit one administration job and expect me to sign you up for another one. I don't know.
My biggest disappointment was Tim Scott.
Yeah.
I love Tim Scott. And he has one of the greatest American stories to tell. And I've heard him speak, and he can be riveting and powerful, inspiring. So you know what? I'm going to wait and see how much he grows into this. This is the first debate. They're all feeling each other out. They're also feeling out the responses from the crowd. Did it go over big? Did it flop? I mean, you got a lot of Trump people in these audiences. So if you said anything against Trump, they would boo. I think the bottom line though is, first debate, I think everyone's glad they got that behind them. Let's see what happens in the next one. And will Trump stay out of all of them?
I know. That'll be the thing. That'll be interesting to see.
I mean, when you got such a big lead like he does, he has no, I guess, incentive to be there. But if DeSantis this is going to be interesting.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun to watch.
It's going to be.
Hang on, guys.
Get your popcorn.
You're going to get back from Labor Day and hold on to your butts because it's going to happen. I love Tim Scott. I have to ask a question, though, and I know that I'm a single woman of a certain age that doesn't have any children, but I do believe in the family unit, and I believe in the nuclear family. I believe that is the most successful, way to raise children successfully is that family unit and the nuclear family being intact, having mom and dad involved in the child's life. Does it worry either one of you, and I'm going to ask both of you, that Tim Scott is like me, of a certain age with no children and no spouse or significant other?
I don't know if I would consider it worrisome, as long as he...
In an age where the nuclear family is trying to be ousted from society, is that a problem?
I think I think as long as for what he believes in and what his values are and morals are, and if that aligns with that whole concept, I'm okay with it. And, if he's surrounding himself with people who are from that background that can help, kind of guide him in that way. But I don't know if I like him. I don't know if I'd consider that worrisome, because you got people
running.
like that, right? And I think it's just what you stand for and what you truly believe in. Because look on the flip side, like Hillary Clinton, for example, she's married and has children, and I think she's the most terrifying human being on this planet.
Everything in her life is a lie, even her marriage.
And I don't think she's for the right things at all. So I think it just depends.
I totally agree with what Meghan just said. I think Tim Scott would be a phenomenal leader. I mean, he's already a great senator. He just learns to get a bigger bite. This is 2023, right? We're all into the soundbite. We're all into the fight. How well can you fight capacity of our politicians? And this is what makes Donald Trump so popular right now.
Yeah.
He's willing to fight that fight. And I think, social media has created this conflict environment. Tim Scott's a real nice guy. And I think he's going to learn to get a little bit more feisty. And who knows? He would, let's say he doesn't win it. I would pick him
for
in a
100%.
New York second to be a VP.
100%.
And I think he's going to grow in any job he gets. But, we'll see. We'll see how this plays out.
I agree with both of you. I don't think it's an issue. I just was curious as to your opinions on it. He is one of the most fantastic people to watch speak in a public speaking setting.
Yep.
He's even more intriguing to watch than Barack Obama. So I not that I love Barack Obama at all, but
Well, I think
Barack
people are fooled
Obama
by
was
him.
too scripted, and half of his story was made up.
Yeah.
There was a great expose just recently.
how do you really feel?
No, there was really an expose
No, I know.
by his the author that wrote his memoir. He came out publicly. This is something I think you should probably talk about next time. But this man came out publicly and really revealed a lot of stuff. What he thought about Barack Obama.
His
He
brother
wrote
wants
his memoir. I mean, and of course,
his brother wants
his
to get on
brother
Tucker
is
Carlson.
unbelievable also.
He wrote a thing to Tucker saying,
Oh,
"Get
his
me on
brother's mad?
well, that's been going on forever.
His brother's
I
a
didn't
Trump
know that.
supporter.
I didn't know
And he has spoken
any of
out about
this.
Barack
I feel like I've been living under a rock.
since he was elected. I mean, this has been going on for a while.
Oh, okay. All right. Put it
Malik, is it Malik? I think his
Little
name is?
nugget put in your back pocket. We'll bring that up next
I know.
time.
I'm
You
hoping
stop-
Tucker brings him on because I just need
I
to.
love when I
need to
can
see.
learn something. Okay, let's talk about who we both want to talk about. Vivek Ramaswamy, a former pharmaceutical business owner.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about Vivek?
I don't. First impressions. There's something that's not sitting right with me when I watch
love
him.
it. Yes. You question his integrity.
I don't know if he's sincere. And it's just something about his whole I don't buy it. Like I'm not buying into it.
I am right on the same page with you. I
get a weird vibe.
I do not trust this individual at all. Not to mention, I really don't want someone who's younger than me in office. No thanks. That's not why this man will never get my vote. So this Vivek, is it Vivek or Vivek? I think it's Vivek. No, it's Vivek.
I thought it was Vivek.
On the Sean Hannity interview, he said it's Vivek. All right,
okay, well, whatever.
right.
Ramaswamy. I
V-Dog.
like saying
We'll
that
call him
better. I
V-Dog
like saying
for
his
now.
last name better.
Keeps switching his stance on things and then blames the media for misquoting him and quickly changes to something else. So this guy is a business owner for the pharmaceutical company. I don't like that about
That
him
off the
already.
bat, yes.
But he kind of seems a little bit full of shit to me. So I have specific examples of where he's actually quoted saying something, and then in an interview he literally changes everything and then says, "No, you quoted me wrong," and it's not true because the quote is his own words. So in the 2021 claim, this is about the J6 insurrection, okay? He claimed that what Trump did last week was wrong. Ramaswamy wrote on Twitter in the days following the riot, "Downright abhorrent, plain and simple. I've said it before." He wrote it in his own book called Nation of Victims. Now, in 2023, this man is obsessed with Donald Trump.
Yes.
Now, let's watch the little video. If I I think it goes in order.
But I think he's doing that to get numbers.
No, I think
because he knows how popular Trump is.
he's a closet Democrat.
Yeah,
I think this
maybe.
man is a closet Democrat.
But I think he's trying to use Trump as leverage for him to get up there. You know
he's trying to make nice with Trump. So here we go.
It's another sad moment in our country's history. The 45th president of the United States, Donald Trump, has yet again been indicted by the Biden DOJ, a political party in power that is now repeatedly using police force to indict and arrest and potentially eliminate its political opponents from competition.
Okay, so there he is. Oh, it's so wrong that we're going to indict Trump over the J6. So my point to Mr. Ramaswamy is, how dare you? How do you state that Trump's indictment is a tragedy when you were one of the people that helped publicly condemn him to it just a few years ago?
Because now he's in a different place.
Oh, he's
politically. So
that bothers me because when your actions and your words don't line up, that's an integrity issue, and I'm not going to trust you when those things happen.
And here's the thing. I know there are many out there that despise Trump, right? But
there are.
However, you cannot tell me that man has not followed through or stayed the same on his thoughts and opinions and promises from day one. He has not flip-flopped. Like, you can't argue that.
Do you know what my favorite thing about Trump is? If you want to know what he's thinking, just ask him.
Yes.
He will tell you whether you like the answer or not. At least you'll know what's going on in his mind.
He doesn't play games. He's honest, maybe too honest sometimes. But at this point in time, that's what we need.
Okay, let's move on to another thing that he flip-flops on. The question of foreign policy. And by the way, I don't think this guy understands anything about foreign policy. His answers are bizarre. So there's a whole bunch of timestamps going on in this one interview. He did an interview with Sean Hannity. And Sean Hannity kept calling him out on, like, wait a minute, you said this and now you're saying this. Can you please clarify what your stance actually is? So the first one we're going to talk about is the Israel foreign policy. All right, so this is where Sean Hannity is going back and forth with Mr. Ramaswamy regarding his stance on Israel, because he's kind of said some really silly things regarding it. So let's start it again. Sorry, guys.
You said aid to Israel, our number one ally, only democracy in the region, should end in 2028, and that they should be integrated with their neighbors. That was the exact quote. You want me to read it?
That's actually, I can tell you the exact quote. What I said is it would be a mark of success if we ever got to a point in our relationship with Israel, if Israel never needed the United States' aid. And Sean, you know how politics is played. A lot of the other professional politicians who have been threatened by my rise have used that statement to say that I would cut off aid to Israel. That's not correct. I've been crystal clear.
But do you?
The only condition under which...
Do you understand the importance of the strategic alliance, the intelligence sharing, in an area of the world where we have a lot of enemies, which, by the way, boggles my mind that we look for the lifeblood of our economy and the world's economy from that very same region of the world. We have more natural resources here, which you agree. But you do understand how important that alliance is and how important the intelligence factor is and how important it is with Iran, especially seeking nukes.
So easy, Meg. Just be their friend, damn it. Can't we just be their friend? So there's Israel, and he likes to blame the fake news about things that he said, which is weird.
Made up quotes.
Mm-hmm. The other one is his Taiwan stance, which is really bizarre if you understand that whole situation.
So I'm the only presidential candidate in either party who has had the courage to say that I'm not going to embrace the one China policy, which is the posture of both political parties today, that I'm not going to just adopt strategic ambiguity. We can't afford that. We need to be clear that we will defend Taiwan. That's different from strategic ambiguity now. We have to defend Taiwan until we achieve semiconductor independence, at which point we resume our current posture of strategic ambiguity, which is exactly what the U.S. adopts today. So, Sean, it's worth reminding people that right now the U.S.'s position is a one China policy. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. At what point, for example, if Russia wanted to put nuclear weapons 90 miles south of our border in Cuba, we did have a Cuban Missile Crisis, what would your posture be there? In other words, if you're saying as long as Taiwan provides the semiconductor chips, we'll help them, but after that, they're on their own?
No, actually, Sean, and that's again how my position's been caricatured. I will remind you and everybody else that right now the United States.
I'm listening.
No, it's not what I'm saying because, well, I'll give it to you very simply. Right now, the United States' policy towards Taiwan is a one China policy. Donald Trump was derided. He was made fun of for daring to pick up a phone call from the Taiwanese
loves Donald
president.
Trump again all of a sudden.
The United States of America right now does not even recognize Taiwan as a nation. I view it differently. I am clear that we will defend Taiwan. I'm the only politician in either party that has the
until we get our semiconductors under control.
in 2028. And then I would resume. Well, I would resume the current position of the United States after we've achieved semiconductor independence.
Okay. This was a really bad interview for Vivek. Do you understand what he literally just did there? Besides say something and say he didn't say something. His strategy for the biggest trade route in the world is we're just going to use them until we get our semiconductors up and running, and then we're just going to drop them. That's his position. I don't think this individual understands foreign policy at all. That's the worst.
I mean, he said it multiple times.
Do you know what strategic ambiguity is?
What is it, Chrissy?
Do you know what it is? It's basically we're not taking a stance either way. Like if China invades Taiwan, who knows if we'll help? That's we're just being ambiguous about it. We're not really going to declare either way because we hope that that's going to keep the peace over there for the time being. But this gentleman with his, well, we're just going to help Taiwan only until we get this, and then we're going to go back to maybe helping Taiwan. Does this sound like a good idea to you?
No. And it's just another way for no one to be direct about what they're wanting to do or planning to do.
Crazy. That was not a good interview for Vivek. He also supports this thing, 59% death tax. What?
59% death tax?
So, Meghan, everything that you work your ass off for in your lifetime and all the property you get and all the money that you save up to hand off to your children when you pass and you go to heaven, because you're going to heaven, honey.
I hope so.
Goes to the
I
government.
won't have much to pass along, but...
He wants 59% of that to go right back to the government. And he wrote about this in his book, Nation of Victims. Now, in an interview, he was asked about that, and he was like, no, this was just an experimental thought that I was having.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Vivek.
When was that? When did he write that book?
I don't know. I don't have the year of it. It wasn't that long ago. It's one of his most recent books. So he wants 59% of everything that you accumulate throughout your life, not to be passed on to your loved ones and your family members, but to go right back to the government. Yep. So that's Vivek for you. That's why I think this guy's a Democrat in disguise. He also started the CEO and founder of Ryovant, which helped fund Datavant, a national COVID-19 registry to track COVID-19 patient data pulled from the healthcare data to give researchers access to stats to track how the virus is spread. No, thank you.
Yeah, that's a big no.
No, thank you. So he founded that. I think this guy is a Democrat in disguise. Yeah. Not to mention another issue with, I forgot. I literally just had a Mitch McConnell moment. Oh my God. There's something else he's done that really,
he was cleared to run again, by the way.
He was cleared. Have you seen those videos? That poor man. He looks like he's having a stroke.
That poor man. Stop putting him up there. Let him go in peace. Let him go on vacation on the beach. Let him just rest. This guy.
Doesn't that say something about our system? We have a Dianne Feinstein from the Democrats.
Who looks like she's keeper of the crypts.
Yep.
Like
Joe Biden. And now you have Mitch McConnell. I mean, how sad is that?
It is sad. And it says something about us as a country that we're...
Unless I forget Fetterman from Pennsylvania.
So that's my thing. If the Democrats want to allow Fetterman into office and don't want us to say anything about it, doesn't want the right to say anything about it, then they can't say anything about Mitch McConnell.
Agreed. But we're all losing.
I know.
Democrats and Republicans.
I mean, it's just so disturbing when you watch those videos and he's just like... And they're like, sir?
Well, I mean, she's like, are you okay? And he just stands there.
Yeah.
Drooling. Like, that
it's
poor
just
man.
staring off into space.
So
I mean, get him for his own dignity. Like, just please stop putting him up there.
Yeah. So do you believe in term limits? Do you think this push for term limits should be there?
Hello? Yes.
I personally, you'd have to change the whole Constitution to get term limits, but it's up to the voter. So
Well, we have term limits in most, a lot of states for governors. I mean, Ron DeSantis after this current term, he's done. I mean, we have a lot of term limits in lower offices. We have a term limit in president of the United States.
Right. So we should have term limits. I mean, if you are on the verge of seeing the gates of heaven, it should be time to retire.
Well, you're talking age limit.
Age limit.
Mentally,
they just
physically.
They just want to bring in a cognitive test.
I mean,
we probably lose half of the Senate, but
that could be like a new reality TV show. Is like the term limit cognitive test public. That's a new C-SPAN thing they can put up. Just you can get to watch the actual cognitive test. We should put all of them on
Survivor and just see
naked and alone,
naked and afraid. See how far they get.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and leave it there, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you next time.